Welcome to the Straight Red Card, and we're going to talk, Brett and I, about, just this big disaster that's happening over the last few days as we approach the U.S. versus Italy matchup, which a lot of people were pretty damn excited about prior. Now you see a lot of people going, oh, great, because today we found out not only are we already missing Jermaine Jones and Jozy Torres and Timothy Chandler, you can add to the list Landon Donovan, who I guess is in ill health or poor health, and I guess somebody made a comment, damn it, Landon, why don't you take more vitamins? But, I don't really
Vitamin C.
Yeah. I mean, but it's turned a lineup that had so many possibilities, so many options to move players and play them in places maybe they'd never played before. And now we're kind of down to just trying to, A, find any lineup whatsoever that can replace all these guys, and B, I'm sure they are hurriedly going through the list of other options in Europe, because that seems like the most likely place to go to find extra players. So we're in that situation. We're scrambling. If I were Klinsmann, I'd be scrambling to find a lineup and B, find those extra players. And I guess Brian Schroeder's going to announce sometime very soon, I believe tomorrow, who the replacement players are. But I don't know, Brett. This totally screwed up my whole lineup.
It threw me for a loop as well. But in all honesty, if you really think about it, we've gone a number of games without having Torres, Donovan, or Jones in it. That's nothing new.
Right.
The big thing is, obviously, we're missing out on Chandler, which kind of throws us for a loop here. We always have the option of either putting, say, Spector at left back. He's played the position at this high of a level before. Some people aren't fans of him. Some people aren't fans of him.
Yep.
However, we're thin of options at this point. We do have the option of playing Johnson at left back. He has been playing there for Hoffenheim. However, our big problem is now that we don't have Donovan included, we don't even have Torres as an option. Our wing spots are awfully thin now.
Yeah, because Torres doesn't. I mean,
he doesn't really play there, but he has played there before.
Right, we've thrown him out there before.
I'm just using that. I guess.
We throw out just about anybody out there if Shea's not there. I mean, we've seen Bradley on the wings. We've seen Williams. We've
that's
seen
not
Johnson.
Too out of the ordinary, though, because Bradley does play on sort of a left and right center mid.
Yeah, we get this commentary all the time. When we say he plays in the midfield, midfield for the team, people go, nah, he plays out in the wing. I've been watching the last three Kievo games, and I can tell you he plays a very central position for Kievo. And if that's a wing, I've never seen a winger play that tight.
I think he's been playing defensive mid for the past handful of games at least.
Yeah.
Well. But we know he can play out wide. We saw him play against Slovenia.
He did well.
In all honesty, he was an option that I was going to throw out on the wing before all the injuries and illnesses.
Mm-hmm. Well,
we're looking at a depleted roster right now, and the big issue here is that it occurs on the same day as U23s.
Yeah.
So we're missing out on other options that we could have had up as well.
Well, I think Grant Wall
call up to this point.
Yeah, Grant Wall said, well, what about Shea? And I think some other people are picking a lot of U.S.-based players. I think Diskerud might still be in Europe because he played this weekend for Ghent. If he's already left, then that's too late, but he could be a replacement. I don't think you fly in. I mean, you would have to fly Shea in. He would have 2 days to chill before it. I think, what about the jet lag, as you mentioned earlier? I don't know. I think you stick to the European-based players, and people seem to think that Klinsmann doesn't like Sasha Kljestan. And I don't know if it's
his dog or something. Seriously.
Maybe Klinsmann's a real good friend of Precky's. I don't know. But the fact of the matter is that Kljestan has gotten called up by Klinsmann before.
True.
So
True.
I just think that Klinsmann's right to say, hey, we're overloaded in that position. And really, Kljestan's not really a great wing player anyhow. So he's not really a good replacement. But, I mean, if you're down to the nitty-gritty, I mentioned Lehigh maybe as another guy you throw in at left back at this point. And I know people aren't going to like this idea, but if you're talking about moving maybe Bradley out to a wing, a wide position, then you can bring in another center midfielder, defensive midfield like Ricardo Clark. So
Yeah,
there are
people
options.
aren't going to like that. People didn't like that call up at Camp Cupcake.
He scored. It doesn't
A
make
goal,
up
a
for
goal
his...
aside, you know.
Well, he can't. He can't
Another,
even get PT at a second division team. So, ouch.
yeah, another option as far as a potential winger would be concerned, and he can also play in the mid center as well. Is Bedoya. I'm not sure exactly. I've seen a couple of Yanks Abroad articles where he's been getting some playing time. Again, he is a European option.
Yeah, I mean the problem is we're just overflowing with more centrally playing midfielders, and so gosh, we have this long list of these more CM-oriented guys that we played out wide. When you talk about Torres, Bedoya, Williams, the list goes. A Spectre. I mean, you could potentially play him out wide as well. They're guys that can all play out wide. I'm not sure that it's their best spot. We've seen.
Well, even Descartes is a central midfielder that's been played out wide. Although he has played some for his club out wide, but he's primarily more of a.
He's a CAM almost, really.
Yeah.
I like him in that spot. But
I
then there's the other question. You do have the option of getting guys who may be a little out of form, but might be ready to go if need be in an emergency situation. Josh Gatt, why not give the kid a shot? I know they're on break right now. I know even Chris Rolfe, same situation. They're nearby, right? It's a short flight. I think, Josh, it would be really exciting. It would certainly boost up the excitement factor if you brought in a kid like that and you got to watch him play out on the wing. But it was sad because I think a lot of people were excited to see, the Altidore on top, Dempsey playing just behind him, Donovan out on one wing, maybe Fabian Johnson or Williams or Bradley on one of the other wings. And then in the middle, you had all these options, Torres, Jones, Bradley, Adu, even Spectre could play there. And now, it's looking pretty thin.
Yeah, originally I was looking at this roster, and I saw a 4-4-2 lineup of what I would expect to see, what I expected to see, and then I saw a 4-4-2 lineup of what I wanted to see. Certain players, even though at the national team they're not played out of position, but they are played in a more advanced role, sort of like whereas Johnson's getting left back playing time for Hoffenheim. He is now with the U.S. national team. He's played more as a left midfielder. And did a pretty damn good job at that. Let me put that out there. I saw a lineup that I would have expected to see, and then a lineup that I wanted to see.
Your lineup, and of course, I didn't like this, had Chandler on the right and Dolo on the bench. And I was I was surprised to see that. I think I mentioned to you online. What are you doing, Brad?
Well, this is a situation where
you and Brian Schroeder hanging out too much.
I absolutely love Dolo. I would love to have him continually play. He is getting older, and he is losing a step. Up until recently, in my opinion, I thought he was his performance with the U.S. national team since Klinsmann took over was a bit wanting. He wasn't as sharp or as crisp as he was before Klinsmann's hiring. There's no reason for that. I'm just saying that it's how I looked at it.
He hasn't played
he's picked it up over the past couple of friendlies, I thought. But I know I would love to see a lineup that included Chandler on the right and Johnson on the left as wingbacks.
Wow, I'm not ready to try Johnson out left just because
Johnson's playing left back for Hoffenheim.
Because they absolutely have nobody else they want to play out there right now.
He's doing well out there.
He's doing all right. It's only been a few games, right?
He's played. I believe he's played the last 5 games at left back.
All right, so it's more than a few, which is 3. Right?
It's something I would like to see. What you'd incorporate with that is you'd have 2 wingbacks who have a lot of pace and a lot of skill, and then you'd have wingbacks that are actually on their preferred foot side, lay those balls into the box. You'd actually have Johnson being able to lay it into his left foot, rather than having a Chandler who has to typically cut back to his right before he plays it in there.
I would have really
it offers a more speedy and offensive-minded lineup, I would say.
Maybe I'm certainly not agreeing with what Klinsmann did because I think Klinsmann is the coaching managerial god or anything, but I really have liked how Chandler has improved out at LB, and I still think Cherundolo is granted, yes, has he had a couple games where I went, it's not the Trondrello I remember, and I sure wish his crossing was better, like it used to be. So, okay, I mean, I can handle that experiment, but I hope it's an experiment, because I think at 32, 33, Trondrello will still be with us, unless, as you say, he continues to slow down, lose that step, and then as you get older, you're more injury prone. So that could happen.
I have no doubt that Trundle is going to be with us all the way through the 2014 cycle. I just think that as players like Chandler and Johnson start stepping up for their club in Germany, that they will start making a larger case that they should probably be starting over Trundle. I think Trundle is still serviceable. He's very defensively sound. I just look at the aspect of the speed at that point now. You have two very speedy wingback options in comparison. Trundle is not slow. I'm not saying that, but he has lots of stuff. And I do like him. Like I said, I love him. I want him to actually play, but I just see this as a more offensive and speedier option.
Yeah. The other thing is, who'd you have it playing back there with Bocanegra? Was it Goodson?
Yeah. I have Goodson on my lineup right now, and it's staying that way. But, in all honesty, Goodson, Cameron, and Parkhurst can all have arguments for them and against them.
I like Cameron. I want to see.
Like I said, I would be fine with all three options, in all honesty, because neither one of them are above. I think they're basically all level as far as depth is concerned. And I wouldn't object to seeing Cameron back there.
I like Cameron's overall athleticism over Parkhurst's.
Well, the one thing, over Parkhurst?
Yeah, over Parkhurst. I like his overall athleticism. I like the fact that he can play all over the field, and the reason he can play all over the field is because he's an excellent athlete. He has, he's fairly skilled. I think
it's because he was a center midfield by trade, so was converted to center back.
I think Parkhurst is a little one-dimensional for me, but I like Cameron.
I think Parkhurst has a wonderful ability of reading the game. I think what hurts him is that he's typically just more of I was going to say a shorter center back, but then again, he is playing side by side with Bocanegra.
Bocanegra's not the tallest guy in the world either.
Exactly, that's my point.
Yeah.
So that whole argument right there was shot to shit.
So you really need Goodson or Cameron in there with Boca, I think, to take the headers.
I don't necessarily think. We've always been a nation of playing very tall center back options outside of Bocanegra. Athletically built, athletic in nature. I don't think we necessarily need we don't necessarily need a tall center back and a small center back, or two tall center backs or two small center backs. We just need to play our best center back options. If Parkhurst and Bocanegra are our best center back options right now with Gooch injured, then I say we play them. Screw height. If anything, Bocanegra is one of our top players in the air.
He's great in the air. There's no doubt about it. Yeah, but nevertheless, I guess the question is now, the other option is you could move Dempsey back out onto the wing. I think that would suck because
I wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't. I'd like him tucked in right behind Altidore. And Altidore, we didn't even get to that guy.
Yeah.
Did you notice how he scored that first goal? And we've been talking about it.
Striker.
Yeah, with his back to the goal. He's getting so good at that now. I hope people start realizing that he has really transformed into what we all said he wasn't 2 years ago.
Kind of last year, too.
Yeah. Well, for the last year, definitely something has changed.
Yeah. And I think his time in Holland has done wonders for his game. Getting consistent playing time up until recently, obviously makes a massive difference.
And he's always been a big guy, and now he's learning how to use that body of his. It's really nice to see. All right.
Did you see his second goal?
I did not see the second one.
It was very calm and collective. Crashing the box, the guy played it back towards the PK. He touched it once to the side, touched it again, and just kicked it hard. But he finished it. It was a calm and collect shot on goal. It wasn't just a freak out shot or anything like that. But it was nice to see.
Yeah,
He's growing in his game, despite what his manager might say.